Okay. Well, now that we've danced around Stratocaster for a while, we'll talk about Telecaster / Esquire in this case. All the time in my early days when I was Stratocastering, I always had a warm spot in my heart for the Telecaster because people like James Burton, there were so many players that could play a Telecaster in ways that I just couldn't get the hang of. But there was always something unique about the sound, and they always seemed to cut through in a way that other guitars didn't. Considering how primitive the design was, it's fairly remarkable how much they got right. I always thought one of the interesting things was in their stock form. It's really one of the only guitars they made for a long time that had two distinctly different pickups. And even the early wiring where you got the preset bass tone in the forward position was very useful to some people. A lot of people considered it to be a sacrilege to change that wiring, though it was certainly, I think, numerically more popular when you got it so that you had a tone control and a volume control, and you could get bridge, both, and neck, because that middle position is pretty cool too. I personally think they should all have brass saddles. I personally think they should all have flat pole piece pickups, but that's a matter of choice. Jimmy Page once said that because obviously he used to use the Tele quite a bit, given to him by Jeff Beck when Jeff Beck got his Esquire, that it's more of a fight with the Telecaster, but it has its rewards, and I couldn't agree more. Several years ago, I closed the car door in my left hand and squashed my index finger, and I still have a little nerve damage in it. And when I hold a flat pick, after about 2 seconds, it goes flying. So I started playing with my fingers, which was also sort of inspired by Lindsey Buckingham, who I think is one of the great unknown guitarists as a soloist. Mark Knopfler, of course, Beck. The control that you have with just your fingers is really quite extraordinary. And even in my limited playing capacity, I found exactly the same thing. It's almost like playing an electric acoustic guitar. And it just, there's a resistance that you don't get on the Strat, even though it's the same scale length and stuff, but it makes it a lot easier to dig into. This particular one is a 1954 Esquire that I got in 1970 from my dear friend Ed Seelig from Silver Strings Music in St. Louis. And it was a stock Esquire when I got it, but I had it so long, I mean, it only cost $225 used at the time. And it's been a laboratory guitar. I don't know what's original. All the markings, the TG dates and stuff are in there, but there's so many different pickups and been refretted 2 or 3 times. But it's really dialed in now. Its name is Bob, and it's a genuine friend to most people that play it. But in this extraordinary world that we're in, after the Stevie Ray genre of Stratocaster blues players, it seems to have faded away now and been replaced by Telecasters of all shapes and sizes. It's really become the guitar again, and I can't help but to feel it has something to do with their unique sound, although you can get them with neck humbuckers and Filtertrons and P90s and every other darn thing. But somewhere along the line, you want to try the basic one to begin with because it also had so many things that were done correctly. Wonderful guitar, wonderful guitar. See you soon.